Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for joining today's webinar. We're going to go over projects in O4. Main goal for today's webinar is I want to make sure we highlight the differences between projects in O4 and in Legacy. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Either I or Ryan B will go over them throughout the webinar or for sure by the end. So when you first log into O4, you will land on this screen right here. This is going to be referred to as the dashboard or the home screen. Either one is fine. From here, you'll see reporting tiles, but right here is where you will click to see your application menu. We're going to head into projects. And from here, you will see the projects listing page. From here, you can search for today's views, which is the default. It'll always search today. Or you can go to 2 days, 7 days, or type in your days that you would like to search. You also have your advanced search, like Legacy. You can see your basic options. You also have a scroll bar here with toggles if you wanted to search by specific items like active or national accounts. You also have your dates field. You can search by money. So if you wanted a minimum or maximum amount of projects that you want to see based off of money. You also have your internal field. So you can search by specific quoters. But if you click into it, it'll drop all of your quoters, or you can start typing and you can see specific quoters, but I'll leave that wide open for now. You also have different parties, so manufacturer, parent manufacturer, contractor representatives, and then you also have specifiers. So you can search by specific specifiers. You can either click search here, or you can click cancel if you didn't find what you needed. So I'll go ahead. You can click 7 days and get more, but I'll search 500. At the bottom, you'll see that it's saying it's showing 1 to 20 of 29 results. In Legacy, I know a few are used to seeing everything on one page, but to break it up, we did have a previous and next button here. So if you don't see all of your results, you can go to the next page. You can also sort by column header. When you are creating tiles, you have the option to land a tile on a specific application page. If you were to do that, it would show here. So if you ever get to the screen and you're not sure how to get back, you can just click search and it'll take you back to that listing screen. From here, this menu right here is going to be your preferences for the listing screen. You can either you can click this, or you can drag it over, you can drag it up, or you can drag it down. You can select it and click the up or down button. Click OK, and then it'll populate here. You also have a tools menu, which will give you default reports that we have available in O4. So we have the follow-up listing, quote backlog, and spec registration backlog. We also have the file menu, which will allow you to create a new project and configuration. So in projects configuration, like Legacy, you have your roles, influence, quote status, but we also have send message, which is now available in O4. You can specify it based off of what kind of quote you're sending out. And then you can click save and it'll save any changes you make in those different tabs. So we'll go ahead and get started to create a new project. Biggest difference here is we have split up projects in O4 when creating in a wizard view. In Legacy, we gave you a lot of information at once and we just kind of wanted to split that out. So from here in this first tab, you get all of your general information and some status. The only required field is going to be new project. Oh, I apologize. The only required field is going to be a project name. From here, you can click next, or you can skip around. We also have an O4 only feature, which is going to be show on bid board. Now in O4, there's a checkbox in your configuration settings saying all new quotes automatically have show on bid board checked. So I have that active in my Oasis. So as soon as I click file new project, this will automatically be checked and it'll show on my bid board. So you can add your phase name, bid name like normal. You can go next, and this is when it gets into some of the more specific information. You can add start dates, vertical markets, which will help a lot when you're doing any kind of reporting. Win-loss tile vertical markets are nice to have, and when using the O4 only feature for customer statistics. You can come in here and add your project rank, any CSRs, and then you can go to the next one. And this is where you'll add your specifiers. You can click in here, click add. You can either click in here and you'll see all of your specifiers available, or you can start typing for the specific one that you like. If there is a sales account and influence set up for it, it'll populate. And if you wanted to add a contact for the specifier, it would also populate. Or you can add it in here. Next, you'll have your sales account where you can add more or change the percentages here for a total of 100. If you have any search tags created for the project section, right here is where you can apply those search tags. If not, if there's something missing, you can go to, and you have admin rights, you can go to configuration software and you can create search tags for the projects. So we'll go ahead and turn this on for this being a green project and click create. Once you create the project, it'll automatically take you to the edit view in O4. Now, I do want to hit on something very quickly. In O4, we have an edit view and a read view. And the reason we did this is in case you accidentally exit out of this tab here, or your laptop dies, your phone dies. We don't want you to lose all of your work. So as you are typing in this project, it is actually saving what you're doing, and we call those hot edits. And before we get too deep into the project section, I'll back it up just a little bit and we can start from the top. And so we'll go over the overview tab. This is very similar to Legacy Oasis, but again, looks very different. And that's kind of the theme for a lot of O4. Here you can add an alias. And once you type it, it'll automatically save. There's not a save button here. You can add any notes for the project, or you can search for phases here. I only have one phase, so didn't have to search, but if I didn't, I could type in initial phase and it will start searching as you're typing. From there, you can click over to get into the phase menu. So over here on the right side are going to be the different type of menus. It's a little bit in a hierarchy view. So you have your overview, your phases, and then you get into your bid menus here. And again, just like in the initial bid tab, right now we're in the read only view, but if there's something that you wanted to edit in general, you can click this edit button and it'll take you to the edit screen. From here, I can make any changes that are necessary. I can change my CSR or add any sales accounts here. Once I'm done, I have this apply menu and I can click apply if I want to save those changes or cancel if I don't. From here, we will go into attachments. So I can click attachments here and I can drag and drop an email or any kind of attachments. It will bring me this edit screen and I can make any notes. I can add my colors, categories, customers and manufacturers, and I can click apply. One thing that is A little different with O4 is you will have these 3 ellipse menu right here, and you can click it and it will give you the option to download this attachment, edit it, or delete it if you have delete rights. You can also add attachments by clicking add attachments, or you can drag and drop them in. You have filters for the attachment section. And then right here, the show menu, it'll show you if you're adding in multiple attachments, it'll show you the status of those attachments. So I just dragged in an email and it's telling me that it was complete and it was added to my attachments. From here, we can go over to conversations. Conversations are going to be an O4 only feature, and they are available in any transaction. So projects, orders just went into beta testing, they're available in orders, or you can have them individually. So if you're in a conversation screen, you can click here to add a new conversation, or you can click here to add records of a phone call. If you're not in a conversation screen, you can also access conversations from this icon here. Conversations are tied per phase in a project. So if I were to have a different phase here, I could, all my conversations will be associated with this initial phase. From here, I'll go ahead and I'll click new conversation. And a lot of the times we will see outside sales users utilizing conversations to talk to their quoters. If they don't know who the quoter is, they can type in quoter. You have to have a subject and a message, and then you can send it here. From there, I can see a new conversation, again, tied per phase. I can see who it went to. So it went to me. Let me send a message to somebody who's not me. So when you send to somebody within your organization, and again, conversations are only available for people inside your Oasis, so Oasis users. If their name is in red, it means they have not read it yet. If their name is in black, it means they have. In configuration, you have the ability to set up amount of minutes before they get an update. So by default, we set it to 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes of Tony not reading this conversation, they will get an email that is associated with their user account saying, hey, you have unread messages in O4. Would you like to go read them? And they can click over to read the conversation. But you can set that for more or less time. And again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we can review them as we go or at the end. From here, we'll go into the initial bid. And if you are marked as a quoter in your user, so that checkbox that says quoter, CSL, or sales account, if you have the quoter checkbox checked, when you come into a project, you will automatically come in and edit view. If you are not marked as a quoter, you'll automatically come in the read view. And I can show what that looks like here. So I can go to projects. Here's the one we just created. It's going to automatically take me into this edit view. So you can go, you can start working and you don't have to click that edit button. From here, if you wanted to add or remove columns in your preferences, you hover over the column name. You have an icon to add it to the left or add it to the right. You can remove this column, or you can add a new one or change this one, and you can change the name of it. Now, note it's over here on this side. If I wanted to just add note over here instead, I could do that and it'll move it. From here, if you needed to add a new column, by default, it'll automatically highlight it. If you just back out, it'll give you all of the columns that are available to add. So we can go ahead and just add note back over here. And I'll change this one back to type. From here, you have your code column. Again, if you don't know all of your codes that are available, you can type or hit a backspace, and you can see all of the code column options here. We'll add a break, or let's go ahead and add this as a blank line. From here, we can also add in options, and options look a little bit different in O4. So from here, you get this menu, and it is telling you that you can collapse or expand your options. So if I wanted to collapse them and I didn't want to see anything underneath it, because maybe I have a lot of options in this project, I can, let me add an item underneath. What this is doing, this is searching your price list based off of what you have in. So I can add in a configured option, show what that looks like. And then from here, I can collapse this option because maybe there's a lot in here and I'm tired of scrolling through it, or I can expand it. You also have a menu item here, and this is a quick toolbar. So for this row that is selected, do I want to copy it? Do I want to paste it, undo, insert, or remove a row, move it up or down? So you have those quick edit options for this row. From here, we also have the quote number here. This tab right here is going to go over the details on a project. So if I wanted to change the bid date, if I wanted to change RA date or change the bid name. We also have our edit menu here. So if I needed to print this quote, if I needed to filter different materials out, undo, redo. We also have our tools here. So if I needed to look up the part history for this catalog number, I could see that here. If I needed to apply a formula, I could also do that here. You also have the save macro feature that you also have in Legacy. We have spread profit under this icon as well. If you have admin rights, you can change the work group here. Stock status, configuration, and then also your clipboard menu. We also have layouts, and layouts function a little different in O4 than what they do in Legacy. In Legacy, layouts are company-wide. In O4, they are user-specific. So if I were to come here and I wanted to create a new layout, I could create that here. If I just needed to change my layouts, I could do that here and apply it, and you'll see that change. Or I could remove a layout from this list. From here, we also have our formula. If there's two different places to change your formula. So here, and then also in tools. We also, down here, we have our bid menu for customers. So if I needed to add customers to this quote, you have a multi-select, so you can add multiple customers in here. Once you select a customer, you can change the status. So if they've won or lost, you can add your markups, sell price, add multiple contacts in here. You can remove customers, you can add or remove your contractors, and then you have your counts menu here. So if you wanted to update counts for this customer, right here, you have your quote matrix, and then you have your manufacturer menu. So if you wanted to change freight, if you wanted to add in the manufacturer quote number, and then your notes tabs are here as well. Once you've typed in a note, you can click apply and it will save that note. From here, we also have the file menu. If you click new, a lot of the times these menus will be hover menus, but we did change it to, you have to click new to see the sub menu. if you wanted to remove a bid or phase. We also have follow-ups under the file menu now. A lot of the times our O4 customers will use conversations instead of follow-ups, so we did put the follow-ups menu here instead of at this level, which is what Legacy does. You can click here to create follow-ups for this project, and then you can click back here to get to the initial bid. We also have the menu option to attach existing bid to a phase, RFQ responses if you wanted to create an order, or if you want to send this project. So sending out a project or sending an email looks a little bit different. We are back to this wizard type layout. So if you select what kind of option, we'll send a customer quote, select your customers you would like to send it to. Do you want to limit manufacturers? You can select which options you would like. If you have the name, or if you've named your option, it'll display here. If not, it'll say anonymous option. You also have the ability to click select all or select a specific option. You also have your printing options. It will remember the last options you've saved. So if this is something that you send out, send it out a specific way every time, you don't have to continue to check these boxes. You can also select the file format here and then click email. From here, it will CC your CSR and your quoter. And then if you had a contact selected from that customer menu, it'll add it here. Over here on the left, you have, it's kind of a status bar of this email, and I'll show that off in a second. If you want to add an attachments to this email, you can click this here and add your attachments. From here, you can either download the quote or you can download it as a draft. And if your customer is set up to receive O2O files, you can either download it or here, or you can send it out through the email. You can type your messages here and you can click send. If the email goes through, it'll automatically take you back to that bill of materials page. If it doesn't, you'll get an error here. It'll turn red and it'll tell you that it failed to send. It will also give you a reason why. So it did not send because I don't have my email connector set up, and then you can go and set that up. But it will let you know if it's sent or not. If it's sent, again, you will just go back to this page here. We also have a new feature in O4, and if you can kind of see over here, we have this icon populated right here. What this is telling you is that Tony Moss, or if you hover over, it'll give you who is on this quote. They are now editing this project, and you can see that he is in this cell over here editing. And as he's typing, you'll start to see those changes on the screen. This is nice to know because, again, in O4, as you're typing, as you're going in through this project, they're hot edits. So the concept of last save when, wins in Legacy is not in O4 because as we're both typing, it is saving what we're doing. Once he exits out of this project or he's no longer working in it, his icon will disappear. We also have a feature in O4 for views. So a lot of our O4 users will set up their outside sales team to have access in O4. A lot of them will set them up as read-only. So if they have a read-only view, this is what it will look like. But if you have full access in projects, then you have the ability to toggle between the views. Maybe you're trying to help your outside salespeople and you want to see what they're seeing. You can switch over to this outside sales view. And the biggest difference here is that it gives you a more condensed down version of the project, and they can't edit anything in here. They can create new conversations. They can add attachments, add notes, but the bill of material, they cannot edit. You have the ability to hide or show money. Right now, I have money shown, so it will show me the sell and extended price. If I had money turned off, it would only show the total here and the total here. We also have manufacturer totals. And again, in O4, you have the ability to view projects in a phone view, in a tablet view, laptop. So you have this ability to see this from anywhere. I will mention that tablet view is the smallest view that we allow edits to be made. So once you get down to a phone view, you can't edit anything. It will always be a read-only view. It just gets a little hard to edit projects in a screen that's small. If you wanted to switch back to the inside view, you would click this here. And it'll take you to that read only, but I can get back to the initial bid and I can get back to work and start adding options here. Any questions so far? All right. So far, this is projects in O4. We have a lot of features coming later down the road. If you have any questions or you would like to talk more about O4, feel free to send us an email or give us a call. But thank you for joining today's webinar. It was quick, and our next webinar will be over tiles that are associated with the project section in O4, and we'll start sending out the registration for that shortly. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day.